A gruesome discovery in a tow yard.
Authorities say they were called to an impound lot in Hollywood after someone noticed a foul odor coming from a car.
The woman's body stuffed into a Tesla and left for days or even weeks.
But Eyewitness News has learned the 2023 Tesla is registered in Hempstead, Texas to multi-platinum artist and musician.
It's been a full month since a body was found inside the trunk of singer David's Tesla, abandoned in an old impound lot in Los Angeles. When the story first hit the internet, people thought it was just a bizarre and tragic coincidence. Let's make one thing clear. David didn't harm anyone. There's absolutely no proof he did anything like that. But as new details began surfacing, things started looking suspiciously connected to him. Or at least that's how social media made it seem. I even covered it on my channel, and that video blew up with nearly 800,000 views. With everyone speculating nonstop, the question on everybody's mind became loud and clear. Why hasn't David been taken in for questioning yet? One of the biggest problems here is how wild the misinformation has gotten online. So before we go deeper, let's break down exactly what's been happening step by step. If you missed my earlier breakdowns of this whole saga, here's the quick recap you need. On September 8th, 2025, authorities were called to an impound lot on North Mansfield Avenue in Hollywood after someone reported a terrible odor coming from a car parked there. The smell was coming from a black Tesla that had only been towed in a few days earlier. Turns out, this same Tesla had been left abandoned in an upscale Los Angeles neighborhood before ending up at the lot. When investigators checked the vehicle, they made a shocking discovery. A body hidden in the trunk wrapped in trash bags. Naturally, police immediately traced the car's registration, and that's when they found out it was registered under David's name, even though he technically hadn't been driving it for some time. David had been on tour for weeks when all of this went down. And get this, he'd actually left that Tesla behind long before the discovery. At the time everything unfolded, he was over 2,000 miles away from Los Angeles, performing somewhere between his Minnesota and Wisconsin stops. His tour had kicked off way back at the start of August, which means he hadn't even set foot in California since August 5th. So at first, it made total sense why people believed he couldn't have been involved at all. His fans and even some online friends were quick to defend him, saying things like, "He's not a murderer." No way. One even joked, "Thank God, bro, because I was still gonna listen to his music. I just didn't want to feel bad doing it." Back then, everyone assumed the person found in that trunk had no connection to David whatsoever. The most popular theory online was that someone else, possibly a random stranger, had used his abandoned car without him knowing. That theory gained even more traction after reports surfaced that another body had been discovered inside a different car in the same tow yard.
And that breaking news is out of South LA for the second time in just 2 days. We're following the discovery of a body that was found in a car, this car right here, in a local tow yard.
Now, authorities haven't officially confirmed whether those two discoveries are linked. And honestly, that silence has been driving people wild. The police and even the city of Los Angeles have been super quiet about the whole thing. And we'll get into why later in this video. Meanwhile, as all this chaos was unfolding, David kept going with his tour like nothing had happened. His team later released a statement saying he'd been informed of the situation and was fully cooperating with investigators while staying on the road. Fans noticed how calm and collected he seemed on stage, performing, smiling, and acting like a pro despite the madness swirling around his name. After the initial chaos died down, the internet slowly moved on. David kept performing, fans kept showing up, and for a moment, everything seemed like it was back to normal, until September 17th hit. That's when the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office finally identified the person found in the back of David's car. The victim was confirmed to be 14-year-old Celeste Riva Hernandez, a heartbreaking discovery that left the public in total shock. If you follow my channel, you'll remember I didn't mention her name in the first video out of respect for her family, who hadn't spoken publicly at that time. Now that they've come forward, I can say her name while reminding everyone to be kind and respectful toward her loved ones. They're enduring something no family should ever face. According to online investigators, Celeste had been listed as missing since April 5th, 2024. When her identity was officially released, there didn't appear to be any clear link between her and David at first. But as the day went on, social media exploded with speculation. Some users began spreading claims suggesting there might have been some kind of friendship or connection between the two, though none of that has been verified by authorities. It's important to emphasize that Celeste was a minor, and David, who's now 20, was legally an adult. Because of that, these rumors sparked serious concern and outrage online. But once again, nothing has been officially confirmed. What fueled even more talk was the discovery that both Celeste and David had the same small tattoo on their right index fingers, the same design Rihanna made famous back in 2009. Fans quickly pointed out that it could easily be a coincidence since many celebrities like Lindsay Lohan, Lily Allen, and Cher Lloyd also got the same ink during that era. Still, the timing seemed odd because that trend peaked in the early 2000s, long before Celeste was even old enough to have known about it, which made the whole situation feel even more mysterious. Celeste wasn't even born when Rihanna got that tattoo, which made things feel even more suspicious. But that was only the beginning of a wave of so-called evidence linking her to David. And surprisingly, most of it came straight from David's own past posts. Before his music career took off, David was actually known online as a popular Fortnite YouTuber. Back then, he didn't go by David at all. He used his gamer tag Chronic Ant, a nickname inspired by his middle name, Anthony. He used to post Fortnite highlights and mix in his own tracks to avoid copyright issues. That's how his music started gaining attention. Since he'd been online for years, people started digging through every old post he'd ever made, going all the way back to his early uploads. Some even claim to find supposed screenshots from his Discord account showing messages between him and someone named Celeste. But here's the twist. Many of those screenshots were later proven to be altered or generated using AI. That's why I'm not showing them here, because this case has already been tangled up in so much misinformation. Still, there were rumors that Celeste once appeared in one of David's old Twitch live streams, and eventually a short clip started circulating, which reignited the whole conversation once again.
I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Delete everything. Everything goes.
At the end of that resurfaced clip, David could be heard telling his mods to delete any trace of the live stream, which made things look way more suspicious. That likely explains why the video was so difficult to find in the first place. While some people were digging through his Discord messages, others started rewatching his old TikToks. And a few of those posts definitely raised eyebrows. Some of his older clips had odd captions that hinted at jealousy and relationship drama, which made fans uncomfortable given the accusations flying around. Then came another twist. David's own music started being used as evidence too. Two of his biggest songs, Romantic Homicide and Rehab, were both released on the same date as Celeste's birthday, which some people thought couldn't be a coincidence. In both videos, David appears blindfolded and surrounded by women who fans claim slightly resemble Celeste. The storylines show heartbreak and loss, which many viewers found eerie considering the situation. Of course, music videos are often symbolic, so this alone doesn't prove anything, but it sure added to the mystery. And just when things couldn't get any wilder, fans discovered an unreleased track allegedly titled Celeste. Only a short snippet ever leaked online, but the lyrics themselves made people uneasy. I won't repeat or play them here, but it's safe to say that unfinished song made this entire case even harder for the public to ignore. When David reportedly wrote that unreleased song, Celeste would have been around 12 or 13 while he was 18, which only made people more uneasy about the rumors. But before jumping to conclusions, remember that a lot of this story has been tangled up in false info online, so it's important to look at everything carefully. After all these supposed connections went viral, police carried out a late-night search on September 18th at a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, a property David had been renting. Since the search happened overnight, it was clear investigators wanted to secure any possible evidence quickly. They were seen leaving with electronic devices and appeared to be looking for camera footage or anything nearby that might help clarify what really happened.
Tonight, law enforcement sources say the LAPD spent hours searching the Hollywood Hills home of star singer David after they say the remains of a missing teen girl were found inside the performer's Tesla. Detectives removing multiple items from the home overnight, including a computer. Police say the Tesla had been abandoned not far.
That's where I left things in my last update. And since then, even more confusing information has surfaced. As the pressure mounted, David's team officially canceled all remaining tour dates on September 19th. The internet was exploding with takes, and soon, people claiming to know Celeste personally began posting their own stories online, some saying they'd known about her friendship with David. Then, a shocking clip started spreading, allegedly showing one of Celeste's former teachers warning students about online safety and risky interactions on social media. That moment reignited the public's focus on how serious and complicated this whole case has become. The teacher had shared Celeste's story in class as a warning about the dangers of meeting strangers online. But the talk also hinted at troubling details about her past interactions with David.
That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
If this teacher's account was real, it suggested Celeste may have left home to meet him more than once, with authorities reportedly getting involved earlier in 2024. Not long after, TMZ released an interview with someone claiming to be her former classmate, who mentioned that Celeste had come from a difficult household and might have talked about leaving home beforehand.
She said how her mom didn't treat her well or whatever, and she didn't like where she was at.
Did she talk at all about her relationship with her parents?
Kind of. She just said they were mean or whatever.
Around the same time, a few anonymous sources who said they'd crossed paths with David claimed they'd seen him out with someone who matched Celeste's description, though they believed she was much older. According to them, she told people she was a college student and used fake IDs to pass as an adult. But even if others were misled, that doesn't excuse what's being alleged, especially since rumors claim David had known her for years. As the pressure built, more people came forward online saying they'd seen the two together, and it felt like things were closing in fast on David. Before anything official happened, though, David and his team abruptly moved out of the Hollywood Hills mansion on September 24th. Witnesses said movers spent a couple of hours packing up boxes and loading a red Tesla registered to his manager, leaving the whole situation even more mysterious. The move might have been innocent, but the timing definitely raised eyebrows. Once someone moves out of a rented home, it becomes way harder for investigators to search it again, especially if new tenants move in. So if anything was missed the first time around, it could be gone for good. Then, just when things couldn't get more suspicious, new reports surfaced saying David had recently transferred ownership of his two Houston homes to his mother, one on September 18th and another on September 21st, right after Celeste's identity became public. Fans immediately started speculating that he might have done it to protect his assets, though nothing official has confirmed that. At this point, everyone online was asking the same thing. Why hasn't David been arrested yet? From the internet's perspective, it looked like an open and shut case, but in reality, it's a lot more complex. Authorities can't just make an arrest based on social media theories. They need solid, verifiable evidence before moving forward. Before anything can happen legally, investigators have to determine how Celeste died. If it turns out her passing was the result of an accident, substance use, or natural causes, then it wouldn't be ruled as foul play. Until the coroner confirms the cause of death, the case can't officially move forward, which explains the long, tense silence surrounding it all. Even if someone tried to hide Celeste's body afterward, that would affect what kind of charges they could face, especially if they weren't the one who actually caused her harm. Right now, investigators are reportedly waiting on toxicology results to better understand what really happened before she was found. Authorities need those reports before making any major moves. If they arrest someone too soon, like David, without enough evidence, the entire case could collapse in court. And let's not forget, it's still unclear if others might have been involved. Just because David knew Celeste doesn't automatically mean he was the one responsible. There could be more people connected to what happened. Still, most of what's being discussed online are just theories, unverified claims that keep spreading faster than the facts. So it's best to wait until law enforcement releases an official statement. One thing that did catch everyone's attention, though, was that David recently hired top entertainment lawyer Blair Burke, known for representing huge celebrity names in controversial cases. That move alone made people speculate even more. While researching this story, I noticed tons of supposed evidence floating around online. Much of it turned out to be AI-generated, photoshopped, or totally unrelated. Some people even shared random police footage claiming it was David, when it clearly wasn't. The internet has been running wild with rumors, and separating truth from fiction has become nearly impossible. Not long after, an Instagram account claimed they'd hacked David's iCloud, but the so-called leaks turned out to be completely fake and AI-generated. It was just another attempt to grab attention, and unfortunately, that kind of thing became a trend fast. Soon, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram were overflowing with made-up screenshots and edited videos being shared as if they were real. The flood of false information got so bad that investigators now have to spend weeks, maybe months, carefully sorting through everything they've collected to figure out what's genuine and what's AI-generated. They're checking devices, chat logs, and recordings to make sure nothing fake slips into the actual case, because one bad piece of misinformation could ruin an entire trial. Then came one of the wildest rumors yet, that David was officially cleared as a suspect. A massive gaming drama page even tweeted, "Singer David is not a murder suspect, police have confirmed." But that post quickly got hit with a correction saying it was misleading. Authorities haven't named any official suspects because the medical examiner still hasn't confirmed the cause of death. Even so, TikToks started popping up everywhere claiming David was innocent, stirring outrage and confusion. A lot of those videos were clearly made just to spark arguments and rack up views, turning a tragic situation into viral content. Right now, as I finish this video, there still aren't any officially named suspects. And that's mainly because investigators are still waiting on the confirmed cause of death. Until that's clear, no one can be publicly accused. Meanwhile, the internet has turned this tragedy into endless clickbait, people posting half-truths just to get views and comments. It's honestly one of the worst sides of social media. If creators want to talk about a case this serious, they should at least do it with respect and accuracy. This isn't some made-up feud for content. It's a real story with real consequences that's affecting real people. Too many are treating it like entertainment, and that's not okay. At the end of the day, all we can hope for is that Celeste's family gets justice and some peace after everything they've been through. They deserve answers, not more noise from the internet. If you've been following along, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment on what you think about how this case is unfolding. And I'll see you in the next one.